Hey guys, this is Miss B here with our first lesson in our 9th grade unit on polynomials. So let's start off by talking about what a polynomial is. Let's break this word down. So poly means many, and a polynomial is just an algebraic expression with two or more terms. So let's talk about what this two or more terms means. So if we have what's called a monomial, that means we only have one term. Mono means one. So one example of this would be 3x squared. Or a constant by itself, like 3. Or a variable by itself, like a. For one term, there cannot be any plus or minus signs in between. If we look at a binomial, bi means two. So a binomial is two terms, and it's separated by either one plus sign or a minus sign. So in this case, it's 3x squared minus 4x. So our first term is 3x squared. Our second term is 4x. Another example could be simply p plus 7. We have two terms. We have a p and we have a 7. One more could be y to the 6th plus y squared. These are two terms. Again, there's one plus sign, or let me not always use plus. Let's say y to the 6th minus y squared. Binomial, it's separated by a minus sign, so we have two terms. Another special polynomial is a trinomial, and that just means that there are three terms. 3x squared minus 4x plus 5. So our three terms are 3x squared, 4x, and 5. Another example could be z to the 4th minus 6 plus z to the 2nd power. So we have three terms here. They all have different degree measures. That's another thing to take note of, and we'll focus more on it when we do the examples together. This polynomial that I wrote out is not in standard form. For it to be in standard form, the highest degree measure would have to come first, and then it would go in descending order. So if I were to rewrite this polynomial to be in standard form, I would put the highest exponent first, then the second highest, which in this case is z squared, and the last thing should always be the constant if you have one. So these two right here are referred to as polynomials because there are two or more terms. So in general, another example of a polynomial doesn't just have to have two or three terms. It could have 4 terms, 5 terms, 6 terms. So a last example that I'll give of a polynomial is, let's say, 5t to the 5th power plus 3t to the 3rd minus t squared, or 1t squared, plus t minus 100. So we have many terms here. This is a polynomial with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms, because we have 4 plus or minus signs in between. So here's example 1 on adding polynomials. One strategy is to line up the polynomials like you would do regular long addition. So we have 5x squared as our first term plus 3x minus 5. I'm going to add this binomial to the trinomial. So we have x squared, so it has to line up with their like terms. So whatever has the same exponent, that's its like term. We don't have any terms that have an x to the first power in here. So the last thing I'm going to do is put my constant under the other constant. And all we're going to do is add straight up and down. So I know there's an invisible 1 in front of the 1x squared. So this trinomial is going to turn to 6x squared. We can replace this with 0x over here. Some people leave it blank. plus 3x. And finally, negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So this trinomial plus this binomial gives us this trinomial of 6x squared plus 3x minus 3. What other people like to do is just simply take out the like terms. It's really just combining like terms when we're adding from the parentheses. So they'll say, okay, I have 5x squared plus 3x minus 5. Then I need to add x squared and 2. So then they're going to go through and say, okay, 5x squared and x squared are like terms, so that's 6x squared. Then I have 3x, but no other x to the first power to combine it with. And lastly, I have my two constants, negative 5 plus 2, and that's going to give me negative 3. So it's the same exact steps, we're just rewriting it a different way. So whatever you prefer, you can either set them up vertically, horizontally and do vertical addition like we did here, or you can simply combine like terms. Let's take a look at our second example where we have some negative terms. Just be very, very careful. I'm going to show you guys how to add them vertically. So I'm going to look at my first trinomial that's given, and I'm going to write it in degree order, negative 4a to the third. Now, if you notice in the second trinomial, we have an exponent of 2 here. So I'm going to fill in plus 0a squared to hold the place of that second degree in this first trinomial. So then I'm going to put my minus a, and then finally plus 1. So we have all the different degree measures. If you want, you could put the 1 for the exponent on a. Now we're going to add that to 2a squared. So we don't have anything with a to the third degree, so we could put 0a to the third plus 2a squared plus 8a, and finally the constant minus 9. So we're adding these straight up and down. I have negative 4 plus 0, and negative 4 plus 0 is just negative 4. So negative 4a to the third. Don't add the exponents, you're keeping them the same. Plus 2a squared. And over here we have a negative 1 coefficient for negative a. So negative 1 plus 8 is positive 7a. And lastly, 1 minus 9 is negative 8. So we have a 4-term polynomial here. Negative 4a to the third plus 2a squared plus 7a minus 8. Again, if you want to take the route of just combining like terms, start with the highest exponent. So if you're looking through, we have a 3, we have a 2. So the first term has to be negative 4a to the third. Then we're going to look at exponents of 2. I only have one term. You know what? And let's also cross them out after we combine them. Then I have an exponent of 2, that's 2a squared. I have nothing to combine it with, so I'm just going to write plus 2a squared. Then I have negative a plus 8a, which is going to give us positive 7a. So we added these two together. I can cross them out. Then I have 1 minus 9, or negative 8. So again, same exact steps. I have nothing else to combine, and we end up with the same answer. The last thing we'll look at is a multiple choice question, and what makes the multiple choice questions more easy, even though this one looks really long because we have 4 terms here, 2 terms, 2 terms, is start with the highest degree first, just like we would if we were to line them up and add them. So the highest degree that we have is to the 5th power. So I have negative 3x to the 5th power, and I have another negative 3x to the 5th power. So when I add these, I know I'm going to end up combining these two terms. Well, negative 3x to the 5th plus negative 3x to the 5th is going to give me negative 6x to the fifth. Again, don't add the exponents, just keep them the same. So if I look at my answer choices, I notice that it can't be C or D because both of these say positive x to the fifth. So I have my first term correct in A and B. So then we're going to look at the next degree level, which is 4. Then you're going to scan what we have here. So we added these two already. And I noticed that I have two terms with exponents of 4. That's negative 5x to the fourth plus 7x to the fourth. So negative 5x to the fourth plus 7x to the fourth is going to give me positive, because negative 5 plus 7 is positive 2x to the fourth. And that's what's going to give me my answer, because I have positive 2x to the fourth on A, but not on B. So that means A has to be the correct answer. And if you just want to double check and finish it off, 3x squared would be the next degree measure. There's nothing else to combine it with, so we just write it. And x, oh, I just noticed an error in this one. Well, we'll fix it together. And then we have x, nothing to combine it with. Oh, there is no error, duh, because I was like, where's the constant term? There's no constant term because negative 7 plus 7 is going to give us 0. So technically we have a plus 0 here. And that's it. So whether you want to write your terms horizontally, stack them, and then add them vertically, or simply just combine like terms is up to you. Make sure that you do the Google form questions to practice and reference this video as needed. 2 o'clock, not 2 o'clock today, sorry, 3 o'clock tutoring. The link is in our Google Classroom. Have a great day, guys.